Hello, this video is to help you with the happy finger pattern that we've been learning today. So I'm actually getting the children to put fingers 1, 2 and 3 down pretty much at the same time, learning how to use all three, because I find that actually creates a much looser, balanced hand rather than just always putting the first finger down. That can sometimes create a lot of tension and it gets difficult to put the other fingers down easily later on. So whilst it's quite tricky for them at the start when they're using all three, they quickly get through that difficulty, and using all three and hopefully the fourth very soon, in the end, stops creating a lot of problems. So that's why we're putting all of them down pretty quickly, and it will be a bit approximate at first, and then it does gradually come through. So the happy finger pattern, it's quite systematic in the way that you learn to do it. So the first few steps are away from the violin, just getting the tune into our head so that we learn how to sing it properly first. So the lyrics are: play your happy pattern. Now I'm singing it through using the A string, which is quite high for our voices, but the A string is quite good for the children to learn how to put their fingers down nice and easily. So the lyrics: play your happy pattern. Then we can do it in solfa. And this is our do, do, fa, mi, re, do, do. And then we can do it using our finger numbers. So A, 3, 2, 1, A, A. And while you're doing that, you can get the children to hold up the fingers that they're using. So A, 3, 2, 1, A, A. Once they're happy with that and they understand the how the notes relate to each other, so mi and fa, fa and mi are close together, and then there's spaces between the other two. We did that in the lesson. They can have a go at putting it onto their instrument. So at first we do it in guitar pose. So I'm doing it a little bit higher, but they should just rest it on their knee, and the left arm goes nice and loose and gentle, and you the thumb goes on the top but doesn't grip. It just rests very gently on the thumb. You can get them to do a little polish on the top so that it's nice and loose. Then the third finger, this is the ring finger, lines up with where the star sticker is. Some of you have got a white line as well as a star sticker. That means that your harmonic and your true note are slightly misaligned on the violins. Sometimes that can happen. So go for this one, go for the white line, because that will give you the true note, okay? But they should be doing it by ear as much as possible. So we do our A and we go, play a happy pattern. And you can try it in solfa. Do, fa, mi, re, do, do. And you can do it with the finger numbers. A, 3, 2, 1, A, A. And again, just check for that thumb gripping and the arm being nice and loose. Okay, once they're feeling happy with that and it's sounding pretty much in tune, it's going to be quite difficult to hear when they're just doing a very gentle pluck, but at least it should get approximately there. You can transfer it up onto the shelf. Now this is trickier because they have to balance the violin at the same time as putting the fingers down. Okay, so the left arm's nice and loose, flops up into a sort of the V between the thumb and the side of the finger. The violin goes on the shelf and rests the neck, and make sure the hand comes right down to the end of the neck, not up here, right down to the end of the neck, waggle, and then the third finger, we can tune our hands by finding our fairy notes. So that's our A, there's our fairy note, and then we've just tuned, so you melt that finger in to tune our third finger so we know which note we're aiming for, and then we sing and play at the same time. Now to start off with, they can do plucking if they want to, so thumb goes up, thumb goes down, put on the end of the fingerboard, finger up for plucking, and we do play your happy pattern, do, fa, mi, re, do, do, all finger numbers, A, 3, 2, 1, A, A. And once they've got the hang of that and they're feeling confident and everything's looking nice and relaxed, then we can have a go with the bow. A, 3, 2, 1, A, A. And again, A, 3, 2, 1, A. Now, just check. We don't want to see this, which is the weight of the violin and the neck resting on the palm of the hand. And we don't want to see this, which is strain where the wrist is poking out. What we want is a nice, relaxed, straight wrist. The violin rests between the thumb and the side of the finger. The thumb isn't gripping. And then the fingers are going down just enough to make the actual notes happen. And as I say, start off on the A string and then you can move that exercise onto all of the other strings. Tuning our voices before we start, so that would be D, play a happy pattern, G, you can sing it down here if you can get down there, play a happy pattern, or transpose up an octave, play a happy pattern, so they sing an octave above where they're playing. For the E, we can sing an octave below, play a happy pattern, and they can have a go at doing it the octave above. But focus on the A string for the moment. Getting it up onto the shelf is probably something that will happen next week or the week after, so over half term. So for the moment, we're just really looking for the children to understand the finger pattern that's on the sheet, be able to hear when their fingers are in tune or not, and be able to pluck them in guitar pose on the different strings with a relaxed handhold. Okay.